Hi, I'm Julie, and this is a series of general biology videos on protein synthesis. Okay, let's go. So this is a picture of chromosomes, the human genome. So these are human chromosomes, and we have 46 chromosomes. Let me get my pen. Oops, that didn't work. Try that again. Okay, so each one of these is one chromosome. So you can see that we have 46 of them, and we have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We get one set of chromosomes from our mother and one set from our father. So these chromosomes are tightly wound DNA strands. And DNA contains the code for making proteins. So in this band of DNA right here on a chromosome, there is a sequence of DNA, a sequence of nucleotides that carries the code to make the proteins. So we know this DNA strand has sugar phosphate backbone, and pointing into the center there are nucleotides. So each nucleic acid strand, there's two strands, and both strands are wrapped around each other in a double helix with the nucleotides pointing into the center. And these nucleotides are attached with hydrogen bonds. So this stretch of DNA that codes for a specific protein is called a gene. And humans have somewhere between 20 and 25,000 genes in their genome. Let's see, so all of the genes, all of the DNA is called the genome. And really only 1.5% of all this DNA in the genome codes for proteins. The rest of it, a lot of other tasks need to be done in protein synthesis, and a lot of it we still really don't know what it's doing. Okay, so let's take a look at how the code from the DNA makes proteins. Here is our protein chain. So we know that a protein is made up of amino acids. So each one of these blocks is an amino acid, and they're bonded together with covalent bonds. Okay. And then that amino acid chain is going to be folded up into a three-dimensional structure to be a tool. Okay. So DNA has the code of which amino acids to put into our specific protein and what order to put them into. Okay, so protein synthesis happens in two steps. One is transcription and the other is translation. Get my pen here. Okay, so here is a cell, and it's a eukaryotic cell. We know that. It has a nucleus. This is the nucleus. And inside the nucleus, here is a strand of DNA. The DNA has the template for making an RNA molecule. And it's these so DNA is transcribed monomer by monomer from one type of a nucleic acid, which is DNA, to another type of nucleic acid, which is RNA. And then it's this RNA that leaves the nucleus, goes out into the cytoplasm, and with the help of this structure right here, which is a ribosome, and these molecules right here, these are called tRNA molecules. tRNA. A protein chain is formed. So, in translation, this mRNA molecule directs the addition of these amino acids onto a new growing amino acid chain. So that's what these are right here. These are amino acids. And it's these tRNA molecules that bring in the amino acids to form this chain. You can think of it sort of like in a courtroom. There's somebody who transcribes transcribes the spoken word, what's being spoken in a courtroom, and they transcribe it into written word. So let's say it's English in the courtroom. So there's a transcriber that's taking everything that's said in the courtroom in English and transcribing it onto paper in English. And then they can take that transcript and translate that into a different language. So let's say it was English before, they can translate it into Spanish. So they're transcribing the spoken word into written word, but it's the same language. So that's similar to transcription in protein synthesis. We're taking the language of DNA, which is nucleic acid, and just transcribing it into RNA, which is the same language of nucleic acid, of nucleotides. And then in translation, the language of nucleic acids is being translated into a completely different language, the language of amino acids. So that helps me remember the difference between transcription and translation. So transcribing, same language, nucleic acid, just in a different format, DNA compared with RNA, and then translation, actually translating the language of nucleic acids into the language of amino acids. Okay, so the next couple of videos, we're going to look at each of these steps, transcription and translation, in more detail. Okay, hope you found that interesting.